Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm a little shiny. Get some of this shine off. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the space. I am Lady J of the Oasis Sanctuary, and it's good to have you here. Wanted to hop on for a few moments. Just wanted to encourage somebody or somebodies and wanted to drop a nugget or two. I hope you're doing that your day is going well. Let me know in the chat where you are watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Hello, hello. I don't know if I can see. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh, thank you. You can hear the background music? You can hear the background music? Something weird is happening. I wonder if this. Oh no, y'all. I'm Oh goodness. Let me say what I need to say. How's everybody doing first? Once again. And that is let me edit that. Let's chat for a few moments. If you're coming in, say hello. I'm gonna tell you, going live isn't easy either. But it gets easier the more you do it. It's not always easy. How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let me know if you're in the chat. I don't see anybody tuning in, so I'll wait for a second. I think I see two people, maybe. I don't know. I'm using a new platform, and so I'm getting used to this platform. If you could let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, that'd be great. Say hello. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. It was this app is a little different from StreamYard. I'm getting used to it. Okay. So I wanted to get on really fast and just chat a little bit. Um, I was in a meeting today, and well, I woke up with a thought, and then the meeting kind of confirmed what was on my mind this morning. But I wanted to say that what's becoming clear to me is that many high achieving, high capacity women who lead do not view themselves oftentimes as high achievers. And that actually, that awareness actually shakes me But then as I think about my own journey, my own evolution, my own identity, I realized that it took me a long time before I believed really who I was, before I really aligned what people perceived of me externally that really had credibility because of work, because of evidence with who I felt that I was. It was almost as if the person that they were looking at wasn't the same person that I was looking at in the mirror. And so when I think about how many people now, because this isn't just limited, this message or this thought isn't just limited to women, but a lot of times what's holding the next, whatever it is, the next step, the next business, the next manifestation, it has to do with how you perceive and how you see yourself. And how you perceive yourself doesn't match what you've already proven for years and the things that you've done. You don't have to prove anymore that you're a leader, that you're capable, that you're sufficient. But I realize we're so accustomed to proving for other people that the person that we need to convince the most, we've sabotaged ourselves. Go ahead and like the video and share this because I want people to hear this. We have sabotaged our own success and we've sabotaged our own transitions and our own movement forward because we don't believe who we see in the mirror. What we see and who we see in the mirror is has some smog and some fog on it, or fog rather on it. I was talking about clarity earlier today in another group that I did. And clarity removes, when you get clear about who you are, it removes the assumptions that that you've like created in your mind that you think other people have about you. I think it's so interesting that we do so many things and work overtime to keep our jobs, to keep this, to keep that. And then, although we have the evidence, we still don't believe we're qualified enough to sit in that seat. And so, when I reflect on me, I understand that wholeheartedly because I honestly can say it's been the last 10 years or so that I've begun to really realize that I am qualified to be in that space. I do have what it takes to sit at those tables. I don't have to prove myself again. I am clear that I'm not, that my gifts, my talents, my skill set is not for everybody, but I know that what I have is enough and it makes me high achieving. It kind of goes back to, so who have we been, once again, who have we been trying to convince other people instead of really sitting with ourselves and developing that self relationship in such a way that we refuse to think otherwise. We know who we are. We know who we are. We know what we're worthy of. And we don't have to play small. Because see, when we do that, it keeps us playing small. It causes us to shrink. And when it's time for us to take the leap of faith for ourselves, we don't do it. We come up with everything, every reason in a book, and it's like, no, One of the things my business coach says that's absolutely true. He says, perfect is an illusion, it does not exist. And he talks about even the science around, a perfect square there is no perfect square, there is no perfect circle. Everything around us, it can have an illusion of perfection, but when you get down into the nuts and the bolts of the matter, nothing is perfect. And perfect ain't necessarily, not only is it not, it's an illusion, but perfect puts so much stress and pressure on us, on our bodies, on our relationships, on everything. And I was saying to a friend of mine, I said, you cannot attract who you are not. So if you're trying to be this, I don't know, whatever it is that you're trying to be, yet you don't believe it yourself, you're just going with the flow. Come on, y'all. What commitment are you making to yourself to believe in yourself and to take the leap forward that you've been procrastinating and putting off? Because procrastination is a sign of lack of clarity. You procrastinate because you're not clear about who you are, you're not clear about what you offer, you're not clear about, if people will believe in you or if people will support what it is that you have. You procrastinate. So it's not just fear based. You procrastinate because you're not clear. There's no clarity. Everything is cluttered. So because of that, you really don't know. And believe it or not, that comes across. That comes across. People can tell when. Well, let me think about this. No, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this talk later this month on the mask identity, because that's what's been happening. A lot of us wear the mask and people have a perception that we think of ourselves and that we are a-okay and that we have our together, and it's like, no, you don't think about yourself highly like you need to. And it's evidence in what we tolerate, evidence in how we move, evidence in what we put up with. I don't know. Yeah. So I wanted to hop on here because I realized that in one of my I was doing a mapping session with a potential client, and that kind of came out. I didn't reach out sooner because I didn't think I was high achieving. What? Let me tell you something, what the statistic says. And about African American women in particular. I read a statistic a couple of years back that says African American women on their worst day outperform everybody else by 3 times, outperform everybody else on their worst day. And if that's not high achieving, hey, I don't know who that is. Hey, 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 what's up? If that's not high achieving, I don't know what is. If on your worst day, you still outperform everybody that you're working with or everybody around you, what the heck are you doing when you are top notch? So then, if I am outperforming on my worst day, how am I not a high achiever? How am I not high capacity? I'm carrying and juggling multiple roles at the same time and have done it for years. And yet I'm questioning whether or not I'm a high achiever, I'm a high performer, I'm high capacity. See, that goes back to that conditioning and what we've been told by other people, and how we we latch on to what I do still isn't good enough. Well, If you leave that system and you go and build a system that is parallel to what's happening, what you have and who you are is enough. Hey, Cynthia, what you have and who you are is enough. It is enough. And we don't have to keep proving ourselves over and over and over and over and over again. And let me say this, you don't have to start over per se. I want to drop a word for y'all to think about. Integration. As you move throughout life and as you move throughout these different phases in your life, nothing that you've ever experienced or nothing that you've ever gone through is discounted. But it's up to you to see that. We have to see that whatever we've encountered can be integrated into the next level, to the next version of who we're becoming. So I think the other thing is that sometimes we're afraid of and feel like we have to start over. That's what I'm trying to say. Feel like we have to start over. You don't have to start from ground zero. A lot of what you did and what you've done is transferable. A lot of what you did is waiting to be integrated. A lot of your lived experience is the bedrock, is the foundation for your next. And you don't think you high capacity and high achieving? Once again, we're not talking about perfect, but I'm saying you don't think that you're that? You don't think that you're above average? Yes, you are. You don't think that you're significant? Yes, you are. I started off saying I thought about my own journey. And I thought about all of the things that I've encountered and how I remember and the things that I've achieved. I remember really battling with imposter syndrome. Oh, if people are going to really find me out. People are going to really find me out. And the thing about imposter syndrome, tying back to this mask, imposter syndrome, it almost feels like you are living inauthentic, because when you live like that, you're not living aligned with who you really are in the first place. Yeah. So if you show up, what does this say? Blah, 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 blah. Really who you are, compare small. Yes, we do compare. But see, even compare, I've heard it said comparison is a thief. Comparison really is. Because who you are next to who the other. Let me tell you, I was on a call today with another woman, another business owner who does very similar to me. It's almost like our visions are synonymous. But we got on the phone and on a Zoom today and we talked and we began to collaborate. And although we have the same understanding and this very, very same business model, we're not the same. The way she shows up, the way she articulates is very different. And the people that are drawn to her are drawn to her. The people that are drawn to me is drawn to me. And guess what? I ended up offering her referrals for people that I think would be a good fit for her. Because I know there's a need, but I might not be their person. That does not mean that I'm not the, that just means I'm not for everybody. And it's not worth me getting caught up in comparing who I am to somebody else, because now you're missing opportunities for you to show up authentically. Imposter syndrome will have you second guessing, will have you crippled. And I'm not saying, I don't think we talk about it enough. We don't talk about how imposter syndrome continues to show up and even once again, like I started, women who have done, I mean, they all kinds of achievements, all kinds of this, all kinds of, because it really isn't about that at the end of the day. It's about what story, what narrative are you telling yourself, and are you clear, excuse me, clear about who you are, clear about what you bring to the table, clear that you are unique, clear of your inherent value. Because the other piece to this is, do you really value who you are? Another thing that helped me to move through this journey, I was talking about the last 10 years or whatever, is when I began to lock my hair. I'll never forget the day that I heard the spirit say to me, lock your hair. I was like, lock my hair. What? Although I always wanted long hair, but because I was years prior, I was a performer, it was really difficult to, black hair and performing, particularly when you were in musical theater, it makes it really, really tough. And just, it's always, that was always a essential piece. So, but when I moved to Georgia, I heard one day when I was coming out of my bathroom, I want you to lock your hair. Lock my hair. I said, okay. And I heard, as you lock your hair, you're going to go through this evolution, this self evolution, where I'm going to teach you how to love yourself and accept yourself at every phase. And anybody who watched me going through the lock journey, y'all know I got online and I would take pictures and I would joke myself, but I also would cringe on the inside because what I was looking at made me so uncomfortable, but it fostered acceptance and self-love in a way that I had never encountered before. Because guess what? I wasn't going to put on a wig to hide my locks. If my locks were sticking up because they were, new and growing and budding, I was going to allow them to bud. But see, this was my journey. I knew that there was a lesson in it for me. And I'm the type of person, the way God deals with me, I need tangible, like, examples. And I walk through things in real time. I've always been that way. I walk through things in real time. So when I began that lock journey, and I remember the months, I remember the first year, but I also remember something changing in me and me beginning to see my own power that wasn't attached to anything but me. It was self-empowering. This was my hair. It was no more wigs. And I'm not knocking anybody who wears wigs and weaves. That's not the point of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I had to come into another self relationship, one of self acceptance. And I remember saying to myself in the mirror, I love you just like you are, girl. I love you just like you are. I love you just like you are. I love you just like you are, with the little buzz and everything. I just love you just as you are. And sometimes I would put on little lashes because I didn't want to look like a boy. With my, I love you I love you just like you are. And there was something once again that began to really evolve. My worth turned in. The validation turned in. And anybody who's been watching my journey, you see that a whole lot of stuff has changed, because that journey began an inward work that I could have never imagined, but it was necessary. So now, if you ask me, do I believe I deserve to sit on certain stages and sit at certain tables? My answer is unequivocally yes. Am I perfect? No. Do I know everything? No. I never claim to. But am I confident in who I am? Even as I navigate weight, yes, I still am. Yes. Yes. Am I high achieving? Yes. Yes. So I want to get on here and just drop a few nuggets. And I did it purpose, this is on purpose. I didn't have a structure like normally I have my little notes. I didn't want to do that. I want to jump on here just unscripted and tell y'all to begin to look at who you are for real, and allow what has happened from the past to serve the things that you've accomplished. Let it be evidence. You don't need anybody else, but let that be evidence to say, hey, high achieving, what I guess how do you dislike? I can't see that. Look at that. Wait a minute, hold up. This is a part of that. Honey, hold on. It's making it a little larger. How do you achieve high achievement? Oh, your question is how do you achieve high achievement? The question, that's a great question. And so I'm gonna answer it like this. Answer it two ways. You achieve high achieving by first of all doing your best. Many of us have made agreements with other people's idea of what is high achieving and what is our best. You have to get clear on, have you utilized the resources, done what was within your power, and have been consistent and did not sell yourself short with regards to putting in the work to learn, putting in the work to understand and be consistent. Have you done that, and not from a place of perfection, but a place of alignment and excellence, right? That's first. The second part is what I said in the beginning. Statistically, we are taught to work harder, and on our worst day, we're still achieving and doing more. I do think that high achieving, and here's another, I'm seeing it over here. Oh, here it is. This is better. No, that's not my question. Okay, go back. Now I can see. Cynthia, now I can see. Now I can see. I couldn't see. Ask me again. Sounds corny, but many are still in comparison. How clear? Okay, so text your question again. How do I define, or how should you define high achieving? I want to make sure. Listen, sometimes, let me tell you something. I'm so happy I am free from having to things to be perfect even in real time. Childless, and I can see it now. I don't know why. Okay, how do I personally? Okay. I define, well, this still is a couple of layers for me, right? Because if I look at high achieving from a practical perspective in corporate settings, and then if I look at high achieving from an esoteric, more philosophical perspective, and then if I look neurologically, those are all different components for me when I think about high achieving. But high achieving has to do with this is my definition, your perception and your understanding of who you are and what you've achieved outside, what you've ascertained outside of these external things, these external accomplishments. These are, to me, the high achiever is the one with the capacity, with the ability, who knows innately who they are. They're able to conquer whatever is put in front of them. And that does not mean that when they accomplish it, or as they're pursuing it, that they're pursuing it perfectly, that they have all of the quote unquote skills. It's the alignment, it's the awareness, it's the embodiment of power, empowerment, confidence, that I can take on whatever is in front of me, or that I can take on and heal and do whatever it is I need to do for me, because my ultimately my internal worth and value starts here. My worth starts here. So I see high achieving from various different lenses. I see it, it's integrated for me. I said the word integration before because it's integrated. If I talk from a cultural perspective, of course, culture, our society has this idea of what high achieving is. High achieving for them may be getting your doctorate, accomplishing getting married, or accomplishing all of these goals. And does that help, Cynthia? Now I can see. Tell me if that helps. The high achiever is also very present. Let me know if I answered your question about my definition of high. Yes, that helps. Okay. Um, I also, and you're bringing up another point here, because I think the other piece to why this conversation, while I'm having this conversation now, is language, linguistics. And I think certain words, certain terms bring about intimidation because there's certain belief systems that's attached to certain words and terms. And you're helping me because maybe it needs to be I need to term it differently. I don't know. But language is the thing that binds us, right? Language, communication. So if me saying high achieving creates anxiety, which in the moment when I was having this meeting, I realized it was creating their idea of what they did and the things that they had accomplished as well was viewed insignificant too, low value. So maybe high achieving for many Black women, since my target is Black women, maybe that feels like something else. Y'all help me, because we learn together. Maybe that feels like something else, because religion teaches you to dumb down who you are. And so I'm not going to say that I am this when I know I have all of these imperfections and insecurities. I can't be high achieving when I can't be consistent with X, Y, and Z. So what are we attaching? What meaning are we attaching? What is our understanding? What comes up emotionally when we hear high achieving? Is there anxiety that comes up when we hear that? And if there is anxiety that comes up when we hear that, that has to do with conditioning. That has to do with a whole lot of stuff. Retraining our nervous system to not see high achievement as something that is harmful, or to redefine it. waiting to hear back from Cynthia to see. What y'all thinking? Who's still out there? If you're still out there, let me know what your thoughts are. This is good. Okay. I had a candle burning for this live and it was burning out. So I had to still with my hands. Yeah. I hope I'm making sense. I can only see, for some reason, I can only see the chat from YouTube. So if anybody is responding from any of the other platforms, I apologize. I can't see it. You know, I'll say this. I'm a woman. I can only speak to being a woman. I can only speak to being a woman. And if you were raised in Christendom, religion, you know, your faith is a huge part of how you show up. I do think that how we've been taught that women are supposed to show up makes us feel as if our role in life and in these businesses and organizations is minuscule. And I think inadvertently what happens is it sabotages and compromises the truth of who we are. Somewhere we don't see who is this relate talk. I think when we hear high achieving, it means doing something. It means doing something. This is good. It said here, I think when we hear high achieving, it means doing something. I'm retraining my brain to understand I am worthy of being a high achiever, but it doesn't mean I have to break my back. That's it. And see, that's what my framework is about. It's the word is integration, right? Because when you've learned, listen, I'm getting excited. When you learn that being in your divine feminine is not about being a woman, it's about being able to receive. And it's about knowing when you need to rest. It's about knowing when you're supposed to pause. This is a man and a woman. So you're talking about divine feminine, divine feminine energy as it pertains to being a high achiever. Whatever you're seeking to achieve is tied to your ability to receive and to posture yourself in such a way that you can receive it, which means that we move away from performance into embodiment. Hey, Donna, what's up? You don't have to break your back. But y'all are helping me to see something here. Because the words create barriers. If we have attached a certain meaning to a certain word, then if we're not able to challenge why we may feel a certain way about a certain word, then we're not able to move beyond that, then okay. We can miss some opportunities here for self-awareness, deeper work. See, this conditioning is so very, very real. And many of us as women are not feminine. Listen. And we're not feminine because we have had to perform. And so when I'm talking, when I'm saying what I'm saying, now you all are helping me see even more. While this may feel still performative, because that's not what I'm alluding to at all. I'm saying actually the opposite. So this is good. This is good. because many of us have had to do. So when I start talking about embodying this new identity and embodying and using what has happened and what you've accomplished as integration, lessons, lived experiences that you learn from. The reason why I'm here right now is because 2020, in the business sense, 2020 shifted how I did everything. It was eye-opening to me. And I decided I was tired of showing up in corporate spaces for everybody else and still not getting what on paper I should have gotten. But it tied back to the fact that I thought that that's what I had to do to be successful. It says the church teaches faith without works is dead, but you work yourself to death trying to create something of false works. Yes, it takes faith to do nothing and let God send it to you. Correct. But see, this is that conditioning, because when I think about works now, I don't think about works in terms of performance. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. When I think about works and actions, and I said this on the other live, I think about alignment and rest. That is the honest to God's truth. I was saying to someone, rest is action, it's still action in motion, it's just a different kind of action. I'm laying down, or I'm sitting, or I'm pausing. But it's something else in operation. It's a different kind of action that allows me to be able to receive. I work best. I was telling my husband yesterday, I was supposed to have a meeting at 8 o'clock last night, and my body said no. So I reached out to the person, no explanations needed. I said, I need to reschedule the meeting. No explanation, didn't go into over explaining and over functioning in that way and making sure they felt comfortable with the fact that that they understood. I ain't do none of that. And when I said to him, I said, my body said, shut down. And that's what I did. But this has come through lived experience where now I'm integrating the lessons that I've learned. And I understand I'm still a high achiever. Because I know when to work and how to work. Think about it. A leopard knows when to strike. When you're mindfully aware, you observe and you're paying attention, you know when. There are times and there are seasons. I was talking about this at the top of the Gregorian year. I was saying that I felt like there's a call for us to begin to live according to the seasons and not to be bound by time, because time constricts us. But seasons are cyclical, and seasons provide another opportunity. Seasons allow you to know and to predict that which is to come. Time puts you in a box of confinement. Okay? And causes you to feel stuck. Time. Correct. I love this. She said, I worked since 10. I'm 60 and just now understanding that the greatest work is getting the line. And can I be honest right now? What I am seeing is that my beautiful aunties who are 60 plus are in this work. And when I say work, don't get it twisted. I ain't talking about performance, but in this awareness, that's a better word. Let me say this awakening. Let me say it like that. Words are in this awakening where I love the fact you all are beginning to see that the way that things have been done didn't work. And it's like you're beginning to redeem time by shifting and acknowledging that and choosing a different path. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need, I'm Generation X. I need that because the other facts are is that Black women in particular are more inclined to die from heart attack, stroke, autoimmune disease, because we've been told to show up like this. Yes. And I'm loving it. But I also understand, I also understand in the meeting that I had today, I was like, oh my God, this is much deeper than what I've been thinking it was. Because as a Generation X, I see myself as the bridge. So I see the value in the tradition and I see the value in the progressive part. But I didn't understand that how steeped this conditioning. So we're more educated than men and in our same bracket and we still work hard. Correct. Yeah. Well, we do it. And it's because we're told we have to. The church, listen, the church tells us, believe it or not, what happens when I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to talk about me. Whenever I would hear people quote Proverbs 31 woman, I would, I would feel away because she did everything. And what was he doing? And we've been told that that's the marker. Oh, you got to be a Proverbs 31 woman. That's it. You do this, that, that. Did she ever stop for herself? Who wrote that text? Now I'm starting to talk about us, but and why is it there? Why is that highlighted? Why? Because see, that's the stuff that we've latched on to, and that's the thing that has become the internal sabotage. And that's why I started off saying, you got evidence to prove you can take on anything. Now, when it's time for you to move and believe in yourself, don't you dare stop. Don't you dare question yourself in that way, because you can absolutely do it. Oh, I know a man wrote it. I was being facetious. I was being facetious. I was being facetious. Yeah. Right? Proverbs 31 is the marker. And here we go. We're trying to be that. I gave it up. I can't. It's too much pressure. The pressure in and of itself is harm to your nervous system. The pressure in and of itself compromises your cells. Do y'all hear me? The pressure in and of itself creates barriers and boundaries, and not healthy ones. I'm talking about within yourself, walls. Most have followed the voice of others and not the spirit. That's why folks jacked up. Who you listening to? That's it. Who are you listening to? That relationship with your spirit, and really, take this further. The spirit is entrusting the God in you. as you, and we've not been taught to do that. And this is another reason why we latch on, or why we doubt, or why we second guess. We don't have to. So this actually has been, I'm so happy I jumped on this live, because you all have helped. You don't even realize you've helped to bring clarity for me. I started off talking about clarity about how I need to connect with these women. How I need to connect with these women. Yeah, this has been really good. Thank y'all so much. Any questions before I get off? Any questions? I hope y'all come to the virtual speaking event that's happening, that I'll be speaking at March 20. I don't know what day yet I'm speaking, but the week is March 23rd through 27th. But if you register, I'm gonna put the link here. If you register, you're gonna get a free gift from me. I'm learning about identity shifting, quantum leaping, and human design. Yes! Yes! I love that. I love that. You talking my talk. I am thinking about I'm thinking about getting certified in human design. Some of y'all know I already do birth charts, but I have been thinking about human design. I'm already in the work of identity shifting. Um, and I have been flirting with the quantum leaping. I do meditations and stuff. So yeah. Yeah. Let me put the so you are, this is absolutely to attend the speaking event is absolutely free. I just want y'all to get this free gift. Hold, please. Let me get it. I don't want to get off without giving it to y'all. Let me give it to y'all. Okay. Just saying yes, do it. You said do it. And somebody sent me a message. Let me tell y'all something. Somebody sent me a message. I'm getting this link for y'all. Somebody sent me a message last night. Somebody that I used to go to church with in another state, and they said to me, they said, "Ooh, you big free," and I said, what you mean? You free?" And I said, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." I ain't even try to read no more into it. I just said, "Yes, I am," because okay, I'm here. I'm sending it now. Because yesterday I shared an experience that I had when I was living in Branson, Missouri, and how it was during that time that I began to understand the tithe a little differently. Let's see. Okay. There it is in the chat. Yes. I am a manifesting generator as well. I am too. See, and that's another reason why I have to rest, because once I learned how I was wired to, my one of my portals, my strongest portal is, I know y'all didn't ask me this, but the sacral chakra. So me resting and leaning into understanding what I desire and what I need, that's the portal for me to manifest. And that's honestly how this was also, this work that I'm doing now was birthed. I saw that clip, loved it. You say you saw that clip, loved it? Yes, because I had to repent. I had to repent a couple months ago, because Spirit of God was like, you have moved beyond this motto. Why are you doing this? And that's another thing. I'm gonna be talking more and more about how we find ourselves in situations because we're seeking community and we want to belong. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with belonging. We just have to know. I think it was Cynthia who said it. We just have to know what spaces and places are meant to hold and contain us. And we cannot afford to allow the voices in those spaces to be louder than the voice in you as you, that is God. My mom would give her tithes to people and I didn't understand it. Yeah. When I tell you, there's the link for y'all to get y'all free gift for you register to attend the free speaking gig. Speaking engagement. Those three years when I would give to businesses, I had no idea what God was posturing me for. But I do remember telling my mom, I told my mom, I said, I don't believe that God punishes you because you don't give a tithe. I don't believe that. I no longer believe it. I don't believe it. I said, God knows what you have need of. And we have to remember what the tithe in its original state and place, what it was about. And I think I helped free her in a little bit in that, because you giving until you have nothing. That's not the mind of God. That ain't the mind of God. And I don't care anymore when anybody come to try to debate with me about it. That's not, no, that's not good stewardship. And this is why we don't have wealth. Can I tell you how much money I've given? Gosh, no, no. You said no. Are you going? Oh, I'm going somewhere. Watch yourself. Listen. I listen. My girlfriend said, like I said, she sent me a text. She said, "Oh, you big free." I said, "I am, and am, and am, and am, and am." What is that? Thank you. Be with me when I'm right. Amen. And when I'm wrong, you can call me up, call me out on it. Shoot, that's another conversation too. Listen, trying to tell you, goodness. Yeah. So y'all be free. Be free. So it's so much more joy over here when you're free. I'm not bound anymore. And I ain't going back. Don't go back. Once you've been freed, stay free. Stay free. Yes, stay free. All right. So y'all register to attend. So I'm gonna try to get this gift. I keep pushing it because I believe it's needed at this time. Um, and I'll be on again. I don't know that I'm gonna promise having a certain day and time, but I do know that I'm supposed to be on more. So I am going to be making the intentional decision to be live a little more. All right. So do me a favor, like and share this video for me. And we're going to do more and more, have more and more conversations like this. Okay. You are absolutely where you're supposed to be, and you are absolutely amazing, and you don't need any other validation from anybody else. You are that woman. You are that man. You are that person. All right. And I will talk with you all next time. Peace.